So I'm here at Bernie headquarters, which is, clearing out after a victory. I'm pumped. By Bernie Sanders here in New Hampshire. Now, it's not just a victory with an asterisk next to it like Iowa, may or may not have been because of state delegate equivalents, even though Bernie Sanders won the popular vote and the whole Democratic Party couldn't shut up about the popular vote when Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump but won the popular vote. But zen. This is my zen. I'm exhausted, but I'm doing this for you guys. But really my sense of all of this is just that this is a huge victory for Bernie Sanders and catapults him into another stratosphere leading up to Nevada and South Carolina, where he's expected to do pretty well in Nevada, and he's closing in on a flailing Biden in South Carolina. Biden finished in 5th by the current vote tally, which by what I have on my phone is around 85% according to the New York Times, behind Bernie Sanders. Pete Buttigieg did nearly 25% of the vote, got 25% of the vote by the current calculations around that, with Bernie barely beating him out, to be honest. Amy Klobuchar coming in 3rd and Elizabeth Warren coming in 4th. Pete Buttigieg doing well here. Look, he's got a ton of money, and Amy Klobuchar doing well. I'll talk about that same phenomenon. Those are both candidates that do extremely well with white voters, or they do well with white voters, but extremely badly with black voters. That's probably a better way to say it. Buttigieg poured all of his money into Iowa, hoping that would spill over into New Hampshire. It certainly has, and that he would then get enough billionaire donations, millionaire donations to have a respectable Nevada and South Carolina, and then reassess. I don't think he's going to do well in Nevada or South Carolina, and I think he's kind of peaked here. For Amy Klobuchar, she just kind of became the moderate of choice, and she ran as a moderate. She didn't try to lie to the voters, and she kind of just said, I don't believe in big change. Okay, and there are a lot of risk-averse Democratic voters who that appeals to. But again, Iowa, New Hampshire, two of the whitest states in the entire country. And that's part of what candidates like Julian Castro have said, why it's unfair for these states to be so privileged in the Democratic nominating process, because it makes sure that issues of immigration, all of those things, that those are not are issues of criminal justice, issues that affect the black community. It makes sure that those aren't pushed to the forefront of the candidates' rhetoric and thoughts when they're campaigning in these states. I'm going to do a separate video touching on Warren's collapse in a bit, because I think it's a sad tale of someone who made some really terrible moves, and she needed to have a great finish here. She was the first candidate out of the gate, and she had, by all accounts, a really stout organizing structure here in New Hampshire, but she fell flat. And I don't think it's a coincidence that she fell flat. Once she peaked, started overthinking everything, started backpedaling on progressive priorities, then hired a bunch of former Obama, Kamala Harris staffers, people who just do not align with the vision that she was initially presenting, and the vision that aligns with much of her voting record. And look, I'll touch on that later, but look, learn some lessons from this, seriously. But Joe Biden, 4th in Iowa, 5th in New Hampshire. Buddy. He and Elizabeth Warren leave the state with 0 delegates. That is a pathetic attempt. And also I will add that Andrew Yang dropped out tonight, along with Michael Bennet, who, I don't know if you know, is still running. Andrew Yang, I thought, brought an important voice to the race. So it's a bummer to see him drop out, but he had a really good run, and he's suspending his campaign, which means he's dropping out. But let's circle back. Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire.